This podcast is a production of Unfiltered Studios. If you would like to know more about joining Unfiltered Studios, please visit our website at unfpod.com for more information.
Now we'll talk about what you really wanted to talk about. We got Tim Smith, your number one Star Trek fan turned photographer, back on, and we're talking about our favorite moments on the newest Star Trek iteration, that is Strange New Worlds. Usually we would review the track show and then do our favorite moments later. We're doing a reverse. We're just like, it's going to be on for a while.
Captain Pike, super beloved character, super beloved captain. We already know what's going to happen to him.
I'm glad they got it out of the box, though. Like, there's something about that.
Immediately, like the first couple of episodes, they just went for it.
And like on Discovered Country, I mean, anytime they reveal that, they imply that there's some kind of cover-up at the Federation, that no one knows what's up, but we, the viewer, and Pike kind of have an idea of something's off. And so I saw some people complaining about season 2. I'm like, oh, you guys don't realize how pure track this is getting. I mean, we're getting into, once again, legal arguments, war criminals, doctor questioning. And I mean, when else has Chapel, who was just a featured background character, had plenty to do? You know?
Such depth. I can't believe how much depth she has. And like, I mean, and I love that she's going to go get engaged to Dr. Corby right now. Like, that's a lot of fun.
Yes.
I love that they were just sort of casually talking about relationships and like, oh, she's bisexual too. You know what I mean? Like, it just, like, they just opened up this character that was just sort of on the shadows and said like 2 lines on occasionally to just this
featured in
amazing,
the movies, but not a well-known.
Yeah, no, exactly right. So I love how that's evolved. And to your point about like the legal argument, and I think it was episode 2 of season 2, like that attorney speech like gave me cold chills, because like
great.
I was like, I cannot argue with one thing that you've said, ma'am. Like, there's no, I have no argument. And I've actually used those words. So like sometimes like in my photography and my art, if there's something that is like a
when you're working for a client or something, I got nothing, but you're not wrong, but hear me out.
Right. And so sometimes like political issues, you know, sometimes that'll happen, like, you know, just whatever in our nation, like we all have our opinions about whatever there are, right? And so, you know, I used her line, how can a law be just if, you know, whatever she says, right, the people who have set the law are not just, and how can we, whatever the line is, I'm totally fucking it up and I'm sorry. But I think you all know what I'm talking about.
It was well staged. It didn't look even just like any other, you know, legal show. They were really good at just like hampering in on just a tougher to define conflict, which is what you want for anything. And I think I would hope that track fans are finally also realizing that you also, if you give track an easy out, then it just becomes formulaic again. And this wants to be its own adventure show while also hitting home on kind of the checklist of what you need on every track show. You need to have, I mean, we've already had, I mean, in the first season, we had a religious zealot, we had an unusual genocide, and I actually thought just the way
that's
they
a
ended
hard episode.
It was a very difficult episode. I'm like, this is a PG rated show, and they're still hitting on it in the best way track does. And I dug how they introduced Scotty. Like, they did it way better, I think, than in, you know, the alternate timeline trilogies. Like, here's how they're going to find Scotty. He's just really coy and good at staying alive, and just having all the Gorn. Like, they look so good here. Like, they are they make a creepy noise that I swear is the same Foley as the creature in the Predator movies, and it's kind of like Alien, where they
I think
sometimes
you're right.
they're like a parasite at times. So I'm like, see, this is way better animated than it was on Enterprise. This is
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. That line is, if a law is not just, then I ask, how are we to trust those who created that law to dispense justice? And I'm like, yes, absolutely right. And I thought that chick could have had her own show. Like, I would love to see like her doing
Star
like
Trek
this,
at law.
something, yes, right?
Yes.
Like something that's sort of the same
Defends
issues
cyborgs
that she
and
sort of did, yes, but makes it, like when she talked about, loving someone used to be against the law, practicing your religion used to be against the law, whatever it was against the law. And we realized that that was dumb, and so I think like it
yes.
would be great for her to have like this really very, you know, show sort of centered around these very high thought topics that really touch into, just sort of different morality issues today. Like I think that would be really high concept, but it'd probably be too brainy. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, unfortunately.
yeah, unfortunately. And I too would be like, are we going to blow something up,
I
or
mean,
is she going to talk all day?
if they want to, maybe it could be medical and legal, so you could have a little bit of everything
Yeah.
in there. You could even mix in medical investigations.
Yes. Yes. And who I'm loving as well, especially in season 2, is Dr. M. Banga. Loving
Yes,
this dude.
I
I don't
think
know. It wasn't like.
I think he's going to have some consequences down the
Go ahead.
road, like because of him.
I think so too.
Even though it was ruled as a self-defense, like when he had to deal with that one instigator and face his own prejudice against the other, you know, guy in contempt against him, I'm like, oh man, the minute you bring that Klingon and those other guys in here, something bad's going to go down. Yeah.
100%. And we know that like he has history. We know there's a story from him being in the Klingon War, him and Chapel, right? And
Yes.
when they shoot that green shit, and then like they go crazy, they're like beating like every Klingon in the entire ship, right, to escape. Like,
That's what
it's
was also
amazing.
fun. Whenever there were some capture episodes, instead of try and recreate, some of the other shows for a while were doing homages. Let's have the dramatic, close up while we cut to commercial. Is like, now we're on streaming, so well, we're safe to air, but we're also let's try and be its own unusual, you know, like dilemma. Like there was always some kind of cool device or gadget or spell that was overtaking everybody, and uh, a lot of those. Anytime they were in a concentration camp, like they were able to have a very witty like escape
Yes,
or just some kind of clever thing. I'm like, see, this is where Star Trek's at its best, is when it's a fun espionage show. And I, I,
agreed.
I really wish they could divide up the musical episode into clips on like Funny or Die or something. Because I mean, if I'm gonna have anybody watch any episode, it's got to be of that one. I'm just like, see that was a clever take on the whole gist of like the whole tropes of Star Trek. And I saw other people saying, it's I'm like, you're missing the point. Like, it's found its own identity. Like it's.
I got the point. I got the point. I got the point. I just wish perhaps they could have done the point differently.
Okay.
But I certainly understand it. It was innovative, and then we had the space hippies on the original series, The Way to Eden,
That's
which
kind of how
actually I
I
just
took
rewatched the
it.
other night. You know what I mean? And like I watched it, and I was like, you know what? It's awful, but here we are. Spock's playing that spoked wheel thing. You know what I mean? Like, fuck it, let's
Spock
go,
has
right?
definitely had the best moments.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
just from that first episode alone, when he had to have his unusual like screaming dilemma
Yes.
in order to
Yes.
escape, and
And Spock Amok was
yes,
definitely just a fun favorite episode. I love the actress T'Pring who's playing T'Pring. Like, she's first of all, she's just beautiful, right? And just so
Mhm.
elegant. And then every dress and costume they put her in is just like ornate and beautiful and detailed. And I'm like, which is more
T'Pring
beautiful,
is
her or
like,
the dress? Like, and
well, and
she's
at
tough
least
too.
she's tough, but I'm glad they addressed is like, yeah, we always implied he was kind of married, but why did that fall off? And it wasn't just his half human tendencies. And I mean, out of all the reboots and remakes and sequels, I will applaud Strange New Worlds for actually trying to justify part five, instead of just
Yes, sir.
backing
100%.
away and saying it doesn't exist, it was a bad episode, stretched out to 2 hours. It's like, okay,
Let's do it.
for the minority who like it, let's try and make sense of his whole half brother Sabak, and here's how all this stuff happened, much like the whole Kirk timeline with his dad and brothers.
And and there are certain inconsistencies in that, right? Like there are episodes before where they say men like us don't have a family, and then well, Prince Archie did have a brother, buddy, and he died on
Yeah, he
Nova,
just
right?
disowned him.
You're right, and then what is interesting about Spock, and I know it really just pisses a lot of people off, right? But like, you're like, oh, we've known you through the series and the movies and everything, and then like you have a half sister and we didn't know, right? Or you're like, wait, you have a brother and you've not told her the whole time, right? Like I see how that sort of like kind of gets people sort of ramped up, right? But like if you think about
Right?
Spock and who he is, that's who he is to hold not that secret, but that part of himself. Spock
That
never
part of
fully
himself
gives himself
he has to
away
let
to
loose.
anybody.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
bingo.
sure.
Yeah, I'm with it. I mean, even and Rebecca Vermijden, has gotten, I think, stronger as an actress. For a while she was just getting the cute roles, but
Sure.
she's known how to pick them. Like she would get some guest spots and then did a lot of other TV and indie films for a while, and it's like, and at the end of the day, they can always say, "Hey, yeah, you were in that one Brian De Palma film. Hey, you were,
Right.
in X-Men. Hey, you were a famous model turned actress." And I think she just played her card right. Is like, okay, I'm going to be on this, but I'm not going to be just the beautiful ensign. I'm going to be,
Right.
I'm
No, I
gonna,
agree with you.
and let's examine this alien species that's never really been detailed enough. Get the science behind that. The Foley and music by Jeff Russo really stands out. I mean, I've already been a fan of Russo for a while, especially his
Yeah.
work on Altered Carbon and a bunch of other dramatic and comedic shows, surprisingly. And so I think what they do so well on even just the space battles is they play a lot of chicken, which
Yeah.
you're not really always used to seeing on track. Maybe Deep Space Nine, but like I would see that more often on like the more militarized stuff like Stargate and Babylon 5. And
Yeah.
it's like they have Pike finally becoming his own thing instead of just reserved, bossy mentor behind a desk in the newer movies, or
Yeah.
as he was in the original show where he was a scene still played by a great actor who wanted nothing to do with the franchise. And
Right.
that's what
Right.
I had to say is like, hey, Anson Mount, here's a dude I've grown up seeing in all these indie films on a few different lawyer shows and playing a bad guy in blockbusters like Nonstop with Liam Neeson and Safe with Jason Statham. And here he is. He apparently taught acting. So he's already, I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to get in some more of his acting buddies. And I'm sure he's at that point in his life. He's middle aged now. He has done everything he wants to demonstrate as an actor. Now he wants to have more fun doing
Yeah.
something that's an uncanny, role. And I think that's just it. Like, I love the memes people were making on how they're like, oh man, his hair's like Johnny Bravo's. I'm like, that's so true.
No, I don't. I can't argue with it. Like I can't argue with it.
It's a
I
beautiful
know
blonde gray hair index,
his
and his hair's a
his
character.
his hair is its own character. It has its own memes. Like what else could you ask for? Like it's its own cultural icon is his hair, right?
Right.
And I think he's fantastic. I really do. Like I think he's definitely like the Trek dad that we kind of need. That we sort of needed right
Yep.
now. And I
Bingo.
agree with you. I think Rebecca Remains Famous is wonderful. I think she's so good and she's so strong in that. And I love the Illyrian story and sort of learning more. And what's so cool about them is like they have the show is like they have there's still so much canon before that you could like do and
Yes.
pull in a little. And there's so many snippets of episodes that we would only be told like one sentence about, but there's so much there that you can
They're still being careful
create
with
and
the
do.
time travel. And I think that's just it.
Yeah,
I think because it's not as out there as, say, Enterprise and Discovery would do, I think people need to give that some credit. I mean, time travel is dangerous from both a screenwriting perspective and when kind of like with Doctor Who, when you're doing on a pre-established canon. And
Mm.
I mean, I thought it was very chilling but effective how they have introduced all the other bridge people. You can remember just about everybody's name, and then you're just like, and by the way, here's uh we're gonna establish a connection to them meeting Khan before he was Khan. I'm like, that is way better than just having a new actor play the established role.
Which was brilliant. I'm not gonna lie, pretty freaking brilliant of them to do that. And then for
I
Lon
saw
not
people
to,
complaining. I'm like, what? What would you
I
just rather them recast it? What would be original
nope.
about that?
I thought it was brilliant. I loved how they did it. I thought it was kind of thought provoking, and I thought it was very Trekky because it's sort of, she knew what Khan was going to become, and she could have
Yep.
probably stopped it right there. But she knew that all of that had to happen so that we could get to where we need to be,
The
much like we were
eugenics
talking about
war and
earlier.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, like we had to go through all of that stuff to get, to our utopia, right? To get to the perfect stuff. So I thought it was very thought provoking, and I'm sort of that character for me. Like I neither am passionate about or dispassionate about. You know what I mean? Like the lawn character, I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, it's either for me or not. I love Celia Rose Gooding, who plays Uhura. I think that's
Beautiful. And she can
beautiful,
sing like no tomorrow, and you're looking at her Broadway
crazy.
backstory. I'm like,
And
whoa.
just like seeing like just learning a little about her story in like the first episode, where you find out that her parents and brother all died in a shuttle accident, and she ran away to Starfleet, right? And I was like,
Yes.
perfect, good. Like all of a sudden they're really giving a real so much more depth to
The
these
camera loves her.
characters.
Like
Oh,
I never know
everyone
what she's
loves
gonna
her.
say before she says it. There's always something surprising. And I like how they're establishing how she learned how to better communicate and had a friendship with Spock. I'm like, see, yeah, that is something that you only pick on in the other movies and shows when you rewatch them many times. Is like here they're getting this out of the bat. It's like let's
Yeah,
establish why that became part of the canon and make this part of the show's identity. So instead of just fancy people playing pre-established roles, and yeah, I mean when they had that one funny alternate timeline where they were just like all taken over and like in dictator garb, like she was just
oh,
having
it was the story. It was episode 8 of season 1, the Elysium Kingdom, where
it's
Mbenga's
so funny.
daughter. Yeah, it actually, like when I first saw what they were doing, I was like, stop fucking with the formula and
You're
just
right.
give me my
Don't do
stuff,
it. And
right?
then I'm like,
But
oh, okay, I
it's
see what you did there.
it's such a rich story, and then like some of the because everybody gets to not act who they are and they overact
That's
in
why they love
these
it.
what they're doing. Like, and you're right, like Sonya was so over the top as like the evil queen, you know what I mean? Like it was
Yep.
perfect. And Pike was so goofy and bashful and weird, and
They were treating it like Shakespeare in the Park, but they had a way of just looking towards the camera without into it, where it's just like, okay, yeah, that they are, this isn't just they were told to ham it up. Like they are being deliberate in showing how under the spell everybody is and
yeah, yeah,
how everybody's going to find a way out of this. Instead, this isn't as weird as one of the Deep Space Nine, like to do with the mirror universe. They're like, yeah,
right.
no. So for the sake of argument, here's this crazy timeline that's now been established, and here's how we're going to get out of here. But
Let's go with it.
it was just fun seeing is like, okay, here's what the captain is like on his weakest day, where he's not in control, and it's all hitting the fan.
100%. Now, am I going to rewatch that episode? Maybe not, but I'm not going to
Eh,
hate on that one either, right? Like, I get it.
trust me, there's a lot of alternate universe episodes I would not rewatch, but I might
Oh,
rewatch this one just because the acting was, and there was a few speeches that were very witty at the end. But
I
yeah,
I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
I mean, the strong point is definitely like we were talking earlier is Law on
Yeah.
acknowledging being part of Khan's universe. I'm seeing other people hate uh, Paul Wesley's portrayal of Kirk, But I mean,
Oh, it's fine. Like
it's
it's a
different.
different.
But I
Yeah,
mean, that's you can't recreate Shatner, and he's
you
said in an
cannot, dude.
interview, especially if you check Reddit, how he was trying to play his not so confident, earlier version of Kirk. Kind of like we've been seeing bands replace, their frontmans and everything. I'm seeing everybody bash something before it's even out. I'm like, well, guess what? If you bash it before it comes out, you should wait till it comes out, then give your take on what they could have done better instead of just, it's terrible. Don't give it a
Right
chance.
before you've even seen it. And honestly, like, give it a chance. Two, weren't you a different person 15 years ago?
Oh,
You know what I mean?
that's what I was
Like,
doing, dude. With all the new shows coming out, I was seeing people they were instantly rejecting. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa! You're doing exactly what you did when the new stuff was coming out.
yeah,
Remember when everyone was like, next gen? There's no way it'll last more than 2 years.
7 years and they didn't want it to go off the air.
People forget
You know,
when, and it's always done this in history. People were like, Bruce Willis, he can't carry a movie. He's a sitcom star. Michael Keaton, he can never play a superhero. He's a comedian, So
blew me away in Batman. Couldn't believe it.
there you go, dude. I think everybody is just wanting to fry stuff in the pan without any care. And I'm just like, come on, man. You gotta see it click. Like, there are many filmmakers I despise. And it's not even their directing style, it's just that they don't check off my personal checklist of having some
Sure.
effective build up, having some suspense, being their own thing instead of just being a lot of studio notes or high on coke while they come up with a derivative movie idea. But every bad filmmaker has at least one good movie because guess what? They probably had an effective crew. They had they had some competent, camera editors, lighting. They were able to create some kind of mood for whatever confusing directions they did.
They had the right one or two right factors for their disastrous directing.
There you go, dude. I mean, there are movies I like by terrible filmmakers, and I see everything else they did. I'm like, yeah, I liked their committee made by committee movie. That's probably why I liked that. It wasn't
Right.
because you they lucked out. They did a movie that didn't have a great script, but didn't have any imagination, but it was fun and exciting. So I think when I see anyone, I mean, I applaud CBS for who they hired as the directors of this current franchise. It's all their people who have worked on all their lawyer and mystery and horror anthology shows. So
Yeah.
when I see a lot of the names pop up, I'm like, oh, I look at their credits and like, yeah, it's various episodes of SWAT, Criminal Minds, Evil,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
some other CBS thriller show. So it's like, well, that's just it. Like Star Trek was always a Western or space cop show, so they're making
It
sure
always
they get it
was.
exciting. Yeah, and
And so
some people balk at that. They're like, "How dare you?" I'm like, "I'm not." You're acting like that's a bad thing.
I mean, it simply is what it is, you
You
know.
ask any director who's worked on it, they say we were told how make this like Wagon Train, and then our counter argument was how do we make it not like Wagon Train?
Yes, exactly right. And a lot of those, to your point, like I think sometimes, like with like Star Trek, I'm in the room, I close my eyes, there's a Star Trek episode, the music, the dialogue, then I close my eyes, the music's going on, and there's a SWAT episode going on. And other than maybe some techno babble, they both sound the same to me, you know?
They
And that's not a
probably got the same
criticism.
editors and sound
Yeah,
guys.
it's not a criticism. I'm just saying like it's that kind of quality production, and like
Yeah,
they're kind of using their CBS formula, you know. It looks away, it sounds away, it has the right this kind of cinematography, this kind of a feel to the music, you know. It's great. I mean, you know, if you don't like it, you have the choice of always not watching it, right? Like that's ultimately what it
I
comes
mean,
down to.
dude, I was a big fan of the original CSI. I couldn't stand it when the new show entered. It was just the style was all different and all for the worse. And
Right.
the actors on it, like, if I hadn't seen them in anything else, I would think this was their first time acting unconvincingly. So the material wasn't there, and I gave it 2 years and said no more. It ended years ago in my head. So I think that's the other thing too. Like people realize with all this, I want to complain on Twitter to the guys like, you also have the right to just make up your own timeline instead of ruin it for everybody else.
You 100% can do that. If you could do better, go do something better.
Do something better, man.
Do something better.
I'm just stoked for it. Like the episodes come in fast, and I know everyone was complaining at first. Oh, why is it on the internet? I'm like, well,
Yeah.
because sci-fi always does pretty bad on network TV. That's why everyone goes to cable. Would
It
something like
always
Walking Dead or
has.
Game of Thrones last on network TV? No.
Nope. Nope. And they couldn't do some of the things they did on those shows on network TV either,
No, content
obviously.
wise, it'd be a
No.
cluster, and you're just like,
Mm, That's what made it so good and so compelling, right? Like some of the visuals and some of the scripting and the acting. Like
right?
it's all a lot of that stuff you just couldn't do on television.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the old 90s show, you can't do that on television. I don't know if you remember that. That's
That
might be
that was a
before your
good
time.
that was a good that was a good show. Yeah.
Yeah, that's old school.
I think they just have paced it way better. I mean, it's evolving so much good. Like, in
Agreed.
its first year, people were stoked for it. I mean, you could argue, yes, the original track in Deep Space Nine had pretty competent first seasons, but they didn't find an audience right away. And
Right.
I would say this was kind of like when Voyager really hit it off in the first season, then slowly
Yeah.
made too many changes. It was that kind of just get right
Yeah.
into it and
I
show the flesh and blood, everybody.
I agree with you. Like, I think people wanted Star Trek, wanted Strange New Worlds for sure. Like they were so hungry for it from the Discovery season. It was just so hotly anticipated and just so well done overall. And I'm very excited for season 3 to come out. I'm
Totally.
ready to resolve this Gorn cliffhanger, and there's just a lot of good stuff coming up. I'm super excited to see.
I think it helps that there's a lot of extra production companies behind this one. We got
Yeah,
HMRX, Weed Road Pictures, Secret Hideout, which is Alex Kurtzman, and yeah, Roddenberry Entertainment, Henry Alonzo Myers, and Sydney. I mean, you got the late great Sidney Lumet's daughter is also part of this. Is like I had no
amazing.
idea. I thought she was going to be an indie director, writer the rest of her life. I was like, no, she's one of the writers on this.
Which is fantastic. And I know that they've already ordered for season 4 to, like the episodes of those. So like that's exciting and that's good stuff.
That's a lot of faith
That's a
versus
lot
we're
of
not
faith.
sure, and I think that's just it. Like people knew that you can be more patient on a streaming platform.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't
I
like
don't know if they
HBO or FX where you take a while and then say, maybe we continue.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. I'm just super stoked for it. Like I'm definitely ready for it. Now you're probably going to make me go back and start watching some of those episodes again from season 1 and 2 to just get me excited for it again.
Absolutely. Star Trek always had a cool doctor. I mean,
Absolutely.
and I
Absolutely.
think that's why I like Strange New Worlds more, though. I mean, you got a doctor and a nurse who becomes a doctor later. So I'm excited to know this. None of it should work, but I think it worked because anytime someone is established, like they just have some time to breathe, and the
Hmm.
actors, regardless of whether they grew up on it or not. I mean, Mabinga, I had seen that actor in some other stuff, and same thing with the Chapel gal. I looked her up. I'm like, oh my god, I think I've seen some of the movies and shows she's been in, and
Yeah, Jess Bush.
I hope that the Gregory Peck's, grandson, once he's done playing Spock, Ethan Peck, he can find something else fun to do as well.
Great.
And given how what everyone signed up for the Section 31 movie and the Starfleet Academy, I was like, okay, this is going to be
Oh, yeah.
interesting because
We've
now
got
you're.
Starfleet Academy too. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was getting excited with you. I was like, yes, we've got Starfleet
Oh yeah,
Academy
yeah.
too.
Sorry. I mean, it's interesting because they're bringing reliable character actors who are definitely going to be bigger once they're part of the track canon, and then you got
Mhm.
others who have been reliable character actors, but now they're definitely going to be no household names at this point. They've done so much
Absolutely.
TV. It's just like
Absolutely.
I think it's interesting though how they picked the chameleons who is like, man, this person has done it all, and if it makes you want to go back and finally compliment them on their excellent work, do it. I can only hope that Trekkies expand their movie horizon beyond just, the sci-fi genre. I'm like, yeah, guys, you got to see other stuff these guys have done. They are amazing.
They are amazing.
Not
How
all
are
of
you?
them, went downhill and did only direct video stuff. Some of them are really good, actually.
Actually, and a lot of good indie films, and on television, and a lot of other things. Like,
I would be, man. Anytime I saw someone who's like, oh my God, that lawyer is the one Klingon admiral guy, or I'd be like
yes,
the one. I would always geek out anytime I recognize the Borg Queen or the
uh-huh.
inventor of the hyperdrive. I'm like, I know you.
I saw there was something where, like, I think I saw like the Borg Queen in like an episode of television, and I was like, she is a fine. It was I forget what the movie was, but I was like, she is a fine actress. No wonder she was the Borg Queen, you know.
Right?
So yeah, definitely enjoyed all the Strange New Worlds.
I kind of tapped out of Star Trek for a while because so much of the stuff is just like, hey, getting out of my depth.
If you wanted to, I mean, Strange New Worlds is a good one. I think
That's probably the most agreeable, just because they don't have to do the whole, oh, here's all these new people who I don't give a shit about. It's all kind of, hey, here's this guy who's already been, set up, and let's
it's talking 10 years before Kirk. You got Captain Christopher Pike in charge of the Enterprise,
Right.
and actually characters from the original series show up.
There's none of the
course, the actors, but
there's no annoying lens flare like all those other dumb movies. It's just like, yeah, let's just have kind of the grit of Deep Space Nine, and then just have a throwback to the. I mean, come on, Pike even dressed up as a cowboy in one episode.
Well, like, they had some missteps. That musical episode for me was a misstep.
What the fuck?
You didn't like that one? Oh man.
Well, I mean,
you're not a musical guy. I would have broken it up as to a Funny or Die parody, but
it just kind of struck me as like one of those times when you'd have like a network who would have every show they have do a theme.
No, it's all good. Matched. I mean, in all fairness, like the best episode easily by far for me was probably the legal episode. I was just like, okay, so this is like they're getting back to Measure of a Man from Next Gen territory.
Right. The data human kind of thing, right. Or is he sentient or whatever? And except in this case, it was Unichin number one.
Yes, Rebecca Remigin. Yeah,
right. And whether or not, because she was genetically engineered or whatever.
Right. And it's like, is she any less of a person?
Which they kind of did the same thing in Deep Space Nine with Bashir's character.
Yeah,
he was genetically engineered too.
Yeah. So it's like, is he any less human? It's like, and it's not so much that he's less of a person, just that they did something illegal and hid it.
Right. I mean, it's it was made illegal because of Khan from the original Star Trek.
Khan. Yeah.
And the new power generation.
No, I wanted to see the Deltan actually be fleshed out more, because I read the backstory on the Deltans when they were introduced in the motion picture, and what Gene Roddenberry envisioned as very sexual beings.
Mm.
And I thought, well, that might be interesting to explore with this character, and then they killed her off.
Full Moon Entertainment presents Star Trek.
Yeah. Star Trek After Dark.
Yeah, coming to Cinemax.
Deep Space 9.5.
Yeah, there's a parody called
Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
Deep Space Nine.
69. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
We'll return after these messages.
If you like small-town mystery, crazy news, and wild history, then the Florida Men on Florida Man podcast is for you. Each week, Josh Mills and Wayne McCarty bring you the absolute best Florida has to offer. So if you're looking for a show that's safe for the family, but funny enough to help you escape everyday life, then listen to the Florida Men on Florida Man podcast. That's Florida Men, plural, on Florida Man podcast.
Do you ever find yourself thinking about who would win in a fight between Goku and Superman? Hi, I'm James Gavsey, and on the Who Would Win show, me and my co-host Ray ignore anything important happening in the outside world and debate fictional battles between characters from comics, movies, and video games.
We got a new show every week, and almost always am I the winner.
Yeah, not true, Ray.
In the past, we've discussed such matches as Captain America versus Darth Vader, Solid Snake versus the Iron Giant, classic matchups like RoboCop versus Terminator, and even the Muppets versus Sesame Street.
That one was crazy. So if you're a fan of geek culture and love a spirited debate, check out the Who Would Win show wherever you get your podcasts, or check us out at whowouldwinshow.com.
us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening.
It's a jacked up